Joining us in studio tonight, Honolulu Police Chief Joe Logan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, top of people's minds, especially in this week, is the violent incident that happened out on the Waianae side at the illegal cockfighting event.
Yes.
Turned deadly. What are you and your team doing to prevent this kind of thing from happening again?
Well, first of all, the investigation is still ongoing, even though one individual has been charged and the juvenile has been petitioned, and so they're still working through that part of the investigation. I don't know if we know the whole story as to why, but I think we're still developing the reason why. What's concerning to Honolulu Police Department is, one, here you have an illegal activity ongoing. And then two individuals bring firearms to these things, whether it's an argument or whatever they're in dispute of, but then they shoot into a crowd of people, and two individuals unfortunately died from their injuries, and three other individuals were treated. And so that is concerning to us. Both individuals would not be able to carry a firearm or own a firearm because they're underage, under 21 in this state. And so that is very concerning to us. Where did these firearms come from? How did they get them? And then why did they bring them in the first place?
And it's so brazen, and the age, you talk about their ages, and I think that part is just shocking to others as well.
Well, absolutely. Using a juvenile in a commission of a crime, if somebody told the individual to do that, that again, that's another crime on top of just the individual bringing a firearm in the first place.
Okay. Now on the mainland, we've seen equally horrible things happening this past week. Young people, in this case, the victims of others. Two people in their houses shooting two different young people unprovoked, and then a teenager getting in somebody's car and being shot. And I think people here are probably a bit worried, knowing that there's more guns out in our community because of concealed carry. How do you make sure that those tendencies for people who think they might shoot first, ask questions later, don't do that here in Hawaii?
Several things. So first of all, most people in Hawaii, or many people in Hawaii, have Ring cameras or some kind of camera on their front door so they could see who the individual is. The first thing we would like to say is, the way you don't answer the door shooting first. You find out who's on the door, find out what's going on. Don't open the door, but talk to the individual through the door and find out what's going on. And then you could ascertain whether they're just at the wrong house. And so that's what we would ask. Two of the cases that happened on the mainland, individuals shot from their residence. So they might not be licensed to carry individuals. They might just own a gun in their property. The third individual, which is the vehicle in the Mart store, the shopping center, and that individual was obviously carrying shot. I believe it was a cheerleader at the time, and so very unusual. What provoked that whole thing? Those investigations are still ongoing, so there's still a lot of information we would like to know. But we are not a stand your ground state in the state of Hawaii. So you don't have the right. Okay, so that means you don't have the right to just shoot first, ask questions later. If you're into an altercation or a situation with another individual, you are supposed to back down and find cover or be able to get away. If you can't do that, then of course you're there to defend yourself, and you do not have to be shot first before you can return fire. So it's situational dependent. Fortunately, so far we've had we've never had a situation here in Hawaii where we had a license to carry individual. Now that it's been since November, and I think I issued the first one in December for license to carry. Those individuals are law-abiding and haven't committed any offenses.
Sure, and they're being trained as part of the license to carry training process, right, on
Absolutely.
this topic?
Yes, so they're going through a 4-hour class, and during that class they're covering laws of Hawaii, laws on how to carry a gun, when you can carry a gun, and what aspects, and then other situations. Now we have the Bill 57 that's passed, which are sensitive places, so where you can and cannot carry a gun. But more importantly, they're also learning Chapter 703 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, which is rules of use of force and the implementation of deadly force.
And that's where you do have that duty to back off, retreat, stay away. Yeah. All right. Well, Chief, thank you so much for going over there, and we hope that kind of scourge never makes it to our shores.
Absolutely, we do. Thank you.
Thank you. And